Mariupol did not disappear after the battle. It changed. The front line moved on. The cameras followed. The headlines shifted elsewhere. But the city remained. Some people left. Others stayed. Not because of slogans, not because of flags, but because of life, work, family, age, exhaustion. At the same time, Mariupol stopped being a front line. It became a rear area, secured, administered, quiet. And that is where the story becomes uncomfortable. Because a city that still lives under disputed control does not fit simple narratives. So it is rarely explained. This video is about that silence, about who stayed, who left, and why Mariupol is talked about less, precisely because it still exists. Mariupol is no longer a front line. That change did not happen overnight. And it did not happen loudly. The fighting moved away. The front line shifted. The city's role changed. From contested ground to secured space. From active combat to controlled order. Military activity did not disappear. It transformed. Checkpoints replaced firefights. Patrols replaced assaults. Administration replaced operations. For planners, this matters. A rear area is not neutral. It is functional. Logistics pass through it. Supply chains rely on it. Stability is enforced to protect depth. That is what Mariupol became. Not a symbol, not a headline, a supporting node. This transition explains the quiet. No dramatic clashes, no daily breaking news. Because rear areas are designed to be calm, and when a city becomes calm during a war, it often disappears from attention. But calm does not mean irrelevant. It means the war has moved into a different phase. When the fighting ended, choices began. Not political choices. Personal ones. Some residents left as soon as they could. They had options, relatives elsewhere, savings, the ability to move. Others stayed. Not because they wanted to prove anything, but because leaving was not simple. Elderly family members, damaged homes, lack of transport, no destination waiting. For many, staying was not a statement, it was necessity. Work also mattered. Reconstruction created jobs. Public services resumed. Local economies slowly restarted. Stability, even limited, became valuable. Over time, a silent divide formed. Those who left adapted elsewhere. Those who stayed adapted here. Two experiences, two timelines, both shaped by the same war. This divide is rarely visible. It does not appear on maps. It is not counted in statistics. But it defines the city more than any military line. Mariupol creates a problem, not on the ground, but in narratives. The city does not fit simple frames. It is not an active battlefield, but it is not at peace. It functions, yet its status is disputed. Talking about daily civilian life risks misunderstanding. Some see it as normalization, others see it as denial. So the safer option becomes silence. Media attention moves on. Coverage shifts to louder fronts. Mariupol fades from discussion. Geopolitically, this is convenient. Statements can remain firm, positions unchanged, sanctions continue. Meanwhile, reality stabilizes quietly. Schools operate, services function, people adapt. This gap matters. Because wars are not decided only by battles, they are shaped by what happens after control is established. Mariupol is rarely explained because it forces uncomfortable questions. About control, about legitimacy, about how conflicts actually settle, not through declarations, but through daily life continuing. Geopolitically, Mariupol carries weight beyond its size. Control of the city reshapes the southern map. Access to the Sea of Azov is secured. Logistical corridors become continuous. This affects calculations far from the city itself. For Russia, Mariupol functions as strategic depth. For Ukraine, it represents unresolved territory. For Western governments, it is a fixed point of disagreement. No side changes its position. But time still moves. As months pass, realities harden. Infrastructure operates, administration consolidates, civilian life adapts. In geopolitics, time matters. The longer a situation stabilizes, the harder it becomes to reverse without escalation. Mariupol illustrates this dynamic clearly, not as a battlefield, but as a geopolitical fact in motion. Mariupol reminds us of one thing: wars do not end when the shooting stops. They continue in administration, in daily routines, in the lives of civilians adapting to new realities. This video is not about taking sides, and it is not about justifying control. It is about understanding what happens after the frontline moves on. TRX Update does not support war. We do not glorify violence. We do not celebrate destruction. Our purpose is analysis, to explain developments calmly, to provide context beyond headlines, to help viewers see the bigger picture. If you value clear, structured, and responsible analysis, stay with TRX Update. Follow the channel. Stay informed. We invite your thoughts, your ideas, your perspectives, but always with respect. Different opinions are welcome. Hate and hostility are not. Because in the end, war leaves no real winners, only realities that deserve to be understood carefully. Thank you for watching.